you ever thought, I make decent money, so why is saving still this hard? Here's something that might reframe that question. A recent study found that the average American is spending nearly $1,900 a year on subscriptions they signed up for and forgot about. And on top of that, people are underestimating their monthly subscription spending by an average of $51, which adds up to over $600 a year quietly leaving their account without even realizing it. More than a third of Americans were genuinely shocked when they found out what they were actually paying. And that's just subscriptions. So before we talk about prices being too high, and yes, that is real, it's worth asking, where is your money actually going right now? Because savings isn't just hard because of what things cost. It's hard when the defaults running in the background are working against you without your knowledge. In this video, I want to show you why that's happening and 3 changes you can make to fix it. My name's Obi, and I've spent over a decade studying personal finance. I've also worked professionally in the finance world for years, in asset and wealth management. In this video, we're going to cover 3 things. Why willpower keeps losing no matter how motivated you are, why your surroundings are costing you more than you realize, and a lot of people never connected to, and specific low-effort changes that actually make saving easier, without becoming boring or cutting out everything that you enjoy. And that third one is where things start to click fast. A lot of people approach saving like it all comes down to who has more discipline. Just try harder, be more responsible, stop spending so much. The problem with that thinking is it assumes the battle is fair. It isn't. Every time you get paid, if nothing is set up to move money out automatically, the default is to spend. It just sits there until it doesn't. And that's not because you're reckless. It's just the setup you're working within. Think about what you're up against. Every single month, convenience, marketing, subscriptions, auto renewals, social pressure, and hundreds of small decisions you're making while tired. And willpower is supposed to beat all that indefinitely? That's not a discipline problem. That's a system problem. And the fix isn't to just try harder. It's to change the order. Set up an automatic transfer to savings soon after payday, before you have a chance to spend it all. Even starting with $50 or $100 matters. The habit of automating is what changes things, not just the amount. And some employers will even let you split your direct deposit so a portion goes straight into your savings account before it ever touches your checking. If that's available to you, it's worth looking into. When saving is automatic, it happens whether you're motivated that day or not. It happens whether you're tired, stressed, or just had a long or rough week. If you rely on willpower, you have to win every single day. But if you rely on systems, you win by default. And willpower is hard enough on its own, but there's a second force that's working against your savings that a lot of people don't see coming because it hardly feels like a spending problem at all. A lot of people track their budget. They know what their rent is, what their car payment is, what their utilities run, but there's a whole category of spending that tends to fly completely under the radar. And it's one of the most overlooked reasons savings feels hard. It's social spending. And again, not because people are reckless, but because it doesn't feel like a big financial decision in the moment. It feels like being a good friend, living your life, or just being present. According to a 2025 Ally Bank survey of over 1,000 Gen Z and millennial respondents, people in those age groups spend an average of $250 a month on activities with friends. And that same survey found that 59% say their financial goals are directly impacted by social spending, and 42% admit that they overspend on their social budget several months out of a year. And separately, a report from Empower found that 6 in 10 young adults feel pressure to spend just to keep up with friends. Think about what a typical night out looks like for a lot of people. Dinner, maybe drinks at a bar. And I personally don't drink, but for a lot of people, a night out includes multiple rounds, and that alone adds up fast. And then tip and Uber there and Uber back. And one outing can easily run $60, $80, sometimes $100 per person. And that's just one night. And here's what makes this so hard to catch. It rarely feels like a budget problem in the moment. It just feels like a normal Friday night. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying restaurants are bad or that you need to stop hanging out with friends. My wife and I genuinely enjoy a good meal out. The issue isn't restaurants. It's when expensive outings become the default for every hangout, every catch up, and every get together. Because that adds up in a way that most people never step back and actually calculate. And I've found some of the best time that we spend with people we care about can cost very little. Coffee shop hangouts where you can sit and talk for hours, game nights, getting people together for a potluck and having it at somebody's place. We genuinely love those things. They tend to be more relaxed, more fun, and you're also not walking out wondering where $80 went. The point isn't to stop enjoying life. It's to make sure the expensive outings are intentional and not just the automatic default every single time. When the default hangout isn't super expensive, it makes saving money easier. Now, I do want to adjust something real before we move on. Yes, groceries cost more. Rent is up, insurance has gone up, and that's not in your head. And I'm also not dismissing it. And if your income genuinely doesn't cover your essentials right now, that's a real constraint and a different conversation. But for a lot of people making decent or good money who still feel like saving is impossible, the issue isn't only prices. It's that the system, auto charges you forgot about, social defaults you never actually looked at, spending that's happening in the background without you even noticing, is quietly using up money before you ever get a chance to save it. You can't control prices, but you can control the order your money moves and the default your money is moving towards. And those two things make a bigger difference than a lot of people expect. So, what does it actually look like in practice? I want to give you 3 things that you can try. And you don't have to pick all 3. Just pick one today, get it running, and come back later for the rest of them. Right now, spending is nearly frictionless. Tap to pay, auto saved cards, a subscription renewing subtly in the background, buy now buttons everywhere you look. Saving feels harder than spending because spending doesn't require much of a real decision at all. So the move isn't to become more disciplined. It's to make spending require just a little more thought. And here are 3 ways to do just that. First is move your savings somewhere you can't easily reach it. Consider opening a separate high-yield savings account at a different bank from where you keep your everyday checking. If moving that money back takes a day or 2, you're going to think twice before touching it. And that delay is the whole point. Out of sight generally does mean out of mind when it comes to spending it. Second is to unfollow the brands and accounts that are triggering you to spend. This one is underrated. A lot of impulse spending doesn't start at checkout. It starts on your phone, scrolling past a brand you follow, seeing a product in someone's short or reel, getting a limited time notification from an account you follow. Go through the accounts you follow and ask, does this account consistently make me want to buy things I really don't need? If the answer is yes, unfollow or mute it. It takes 2 seconds and the effect is real. You can't want something that you don't know about. And pair that with unsubscribing from marketing emails. Even if you don't always open them, the subject lines alone are doing their job. A 10-minute unsubscribe session can easily cut off a lot of the noise that drives unplanned spending. And third is to set one personal spending rule. Something like, I wait 48 hours before any non-essential purchases over $50. Or if you have a spouse or a close friend that you trust with this kind of thing, it could be that you talk it through with them before you buy anything significant. My wife and I do this, and it's incredible how much this has saved us. And these aren't just unnecessary restrictions. They're speed bumps. And speed bumps make a real difference when spending has been made this easy. And if you're trying to figure out where the money would even come from to save in the first place, I put together a free guide with 5 practical ways to free up $200 without doing anything extreme. It's linked on the description if you want to check it out. You see, willpower isn't useless, but it's not a savings plan. It works well for a week or 2, then life happens. You're tired, something comes up, a friend texts asking if you want to go out, and the plan built around discipline starts to crack. The people who save consistently aren't always the most disciplined. They're often just the ones with a better setup. Automate your savings, be honest about your social defaults, and add a little friction where you need it. Do that, and saving stops being a fight you have to win every day and starts becoming something that just happens. The next step from here is getting specific on one of the highest leverage friction tools I've found. The 24-hour rule sounds simple, but the way it actually changes how impulse decisions work is worth understanding. I have a whole video walking through it, which you can find on the screen. If this video helped, I'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.